ATEZR sent me the V35 and asked me to test it out and tell you guys what I think about it. Today we're not going to focus on cutting, we're going to focus on performance. All right, let's get out of the way the first part. ATEZR sent me this for free of charge. I'm going to do a review on it, but I promise you I will give you my real opinion on this and not fluff or overcoat anything. So now that we got that out of the way, their claim, and I've seen it done, is that you can cut through a 2x4, and I think it was 2 passes with the V35. Pretty powerful. And don't jump up right now and say, I've got to get a V35. It all depends on what you do for your business. So as you move up in strength to a 35, a 40 watt laser, hell, they're going to have 60 watt diode lasers soon. Don't let that get you to buy them. Just because they're the newest and best doesn't mean you should. And we're going to cut this thing out of this box. Instruction manual, yay! New power supply, new cable, some clear acrylic, I don't know, and the laser. We're going to compare this to the 20 watt laser that's on there. Holy moly, look at the size difference in this sucker. It's almost ½ an inch larger at the bottom. It's about the same diameter though. First thing we do is have to get this the old head off. Be very careful when you're taking this wire out. You don't want to break this because you're going to want to use this 20 watt again. And the laser is removed. So the first big issue you're going to run into is this laser goes from a 4-pin to a 5-pin laser head. So you have to replace the whole harness. And this is turning out to be a big pain. Come on over here and I'll show you. All right, this is exponentially harder than I thought it would be. I had to remove this motor, 2 screws on the inside of this, the actual antenna mount right in back of it. Now I need to disconnect all this. Take a picture of it before you disconnect so you know how to put it back together. And then I can put it all back together. Damn, this is hard. All right, I made this whole thing a lot more difficult than it should have been. Took the motor off trying to get to the back of this, when all I had to do actually is take these 4 screws out and take the front panel off, and then I would have access to the back of this right here. Well, that was an ordeal. I'm starting to realize why ATEZR doesn't have the actual kit for just the laser for you to purchase, and they only have the whole system. While running the new harness to the control box, this is where the issue came in for me. The directions had an arrow pointing to what I thought was the 5 volt for connecting up the new harness. So I plugged the machine into the 5 volt and left the power board connected to the 12 volt. This burnt the power board out. I contacted ATEZR support through the email. I didn't try to get them through Facebook. I didn't try to call them. I sent them an email and they responded to me within a day or so. And they sent me a new harness that goes to the control board and the control board itself. Now, shipping from China did take a few weeks, but I'm back at it right now. I've got it hooked up and it's running, so I don't think that there's a need to test out the entire system and me tell you what I think about a system I've already given you a review on. You know I love my ATEZR. We want to test out this 35 watt laser, so we're going to do an engrave test and then we'll do a cut test and we'll talk about the results. Results from the engraving right there. Not bad, but... And here are the cut settings. They're fairly inconsistent. I would figure a 35 watt would have cut all of these out, pretty much, but it did not. You can see the ones that are still there. I just don't know what to say. It has to be a setting because this is a 35 watt laser compared to a 20 watt laser that cut a lot better than that. Right there, look at the colors on that. It did very well. Alright, so there it is. It doesn't have the numbers on it, but I got it written down on a piece of paper that'll go with this, and I'll be able to use this to do engravings on dog tags. So, I still gotta figure out how to line it up a little bit better. It's hard to see, but yeah, that came out really good. And here's the results for the slate. But remember to always fill these with water, because if not, they may buckle. I've had a couple do that without the water in it. So now we're going to do an engraving on painted tile. This has blue, red, and yellow paint underneath it. And we're going to do an engraving test to see what we need to do to be able to engrave a picture on it. And here it is, the results for the painted tile. You make your decision on these cuts when you do them on your own tiles. I know what I'm going to use for this one. All right, let's buckle in. We got a lot to talk about. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, the first thing you got to ask yourself, do I need to upgrade to the 35 watt? And I hope that some of the things I've done here today will help you make a decision. That is to each of you and your own decision. I'm just going to give you information, so don't come back over here and tell me you said this is the greatest thing or you said this was horrible and I bought it or I didn't buy it and it's all your fault. Be a grown-up and make your own decisions. With that being said, let's move on. So the bad is the engraving. You saw the engraving, there it is. I don't see a major difference between this one and the 20 watt. Like I said, it could be my settings. I don't know, but I've reset Lightburn and tried it again, and I get the same every single time. So, if you know what I did wrong, or if this is correct, let me know down in the comments below. We can always talk about it and figure out what's going on. I mean, it took less time, it was faster, but yeah, that's just what it is, right? Okay. You have to run the cables, and you have to connect them up. I am not the brightest man in the world, but I got confused on the directions. The arrow was pointing in between the two little things, and I should have contacted ATEZR and found out which one it went in. But I didn't, and they had to send me a new one. So be careful of that. So that is a bad, not on the system, but a bad because you have to be a little bit tech savvy to redo it all. So another bad that I did not show in the video, but I'm going to talk about it now, where the air assist goes into the top of the laser. I'll throw a picture right up here. I had that and I tried to pull off the hose and it broke off. I don't know if there was a crack in it or what, but when I pulled the hose off, it shouldn't have torn off. Now I fixed it. I used some super glue and hopefully that'll be fine, but I think that'd be an issue, especially when you spend so much on a laser. Settings. There's not very many of them out there. ATEZR has a few on their website. I believe that they should have done a lot of testing and put all of the testing material on there. That's it. Those are the negatives I found with this laser. Let's move on to what I feel are the good points in this laser. This thing is fast. That is the good thing about a more powerful laser. You can get stuff done quicker, you can batch stuff out faster, and get it out to your clients quicker. The laser head has a clear window so you can see the laser spot when you're trying to set it up. Integrated air assist. I know the 20 watt had it, but a lot of lasers on the market today don't. So I think it's important that I point that out, that it has it, because it's something that I think everyone should have on their lasers, and it's something you need to use while you're lasing on wood. I've used a bunch of my 20 watt lasers to do these little keychains, and I usually have to use my IR fiber laser that I have. And normally a 20 watt laser doesn't leave a very good mark on this, I guess you'd call it, because it's not engraving. But this one, it did. It actually looks really good, and I think I can make a jig for this, and I'd be able to make dozens of these instead of one at a time with my fiber laser. This laser did amazing on this slate, and it was pretty fast too. You could see, right, I know I've showed it to you before, but look at it. It looks really good. I want to talk real quickly about the painted tiles. I absolutely suck at this, but I've been working on it and I'm getting a little bit better. You can see I got that skull on there. I have to get my settings down for this. I've got to prep these correctly, but I'm trying. I'm trying to show you things you can do. And there are some people that do amazing work, and I wish I had their skill with the laser, and I wish I could do it, but I can't. I'm trying. I'm getting there. Now, if you need something burned into wood, I'm your man. If you need something cut out of wood, I'm your man. You need a tile done, or a mirror done, or a piece of acrylic done, I'm not your man. Look, I know I didn't show it, but this thing can cut a 2x4. Not really sure when that would be practical, but it's cool to say, hey, I've got a laser that can cut a 2x4. So my final thought on the V35 35W laser is this. All right, let's be real for a minute. 90% of you don't need to upgrade to a 35W laser. A 10W or a 20W where you're cutting 3mm ply or 5mm ply is just fine for you. You don't need to rush out every time the new biggest and greatest thing comes out. With that being said, if this is your first machine and you're looking to do not just a basic hobby, but something that you can produce work on fast and batch it out and get it out to the customer, this is a good laser. The whole system all together, and I'll put a link down below. I think it's on sale right now. Do I suggest that you abandon your 10 and 20W laser? No, I don't suggest you do. But if this is the first machine that you're going to buy, or you're upgrading your entire system, yeah, this is a good laser. And I know there's 40W lasers out there. I'm going to tell you, I've tested a 40W laser and a 35W laser, and I didn't see any difference in how they cut. All right, I appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you hit that thumbs up button, share the video if you could, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. And until next video, stay cool.